What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today I've got a video of the Beats Studio Buds. So these are brand new earbuds that are truly wireless that came from Beats, and if you guys don't know already, it is actually a company that is owned by Apple. And not only is it a pair of earbuds that comes in at a price of $150 and does a really good job of even bridging Apple's lineup between their AirPods 2 and also the AirPods Pro, but at the same time, it also gives you some indication of what we could expect in the upcoming AirPods 3, which have been long awaited. So honestly, I didn't know that these were coming out, and they definitely seem like a very interesting product because with the back to school season coming around, $150 for a pair of truly wireless earbuds that also have some noise canceling features is great to have. The other aspect is these are also kind of dual native, so whether you have an iOS device or an Android, then you're able to connect to it relatively seamlessly, which is a nice feature that you don't get with the AirPods, because even though we know how good the AirPods are, if you don't have an iPhone, then it's a little bit harder to use. In this video, we're gonna go through all the details of like the hardware, the design, the sound quality, the active noise cancellation, and also how they compare to the Apple AirPods Pro, as well as the standard AirPods, because this really does sit right in the middle of the lineup, but costs $100 less than the AirPods Pro. From a design standpoint though, and from a feature standpoint, in a lot of ways, it is more similar to the Pro than it is to the AirPod 2. If you guys would like to win a pair of these for yourself, just make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and also leave a comment down below with your Instagram username, and also go ahead and follow me on Instagram at justin.tsc, and I'll be announcing a winner in 3 weeks. So just from the overall unboxing experience, it is pretty standard of Beats. And honestly, I wasn't expecting the box to be this small, but inside, of course, are the earbuds, as well as a very short USB Type-C charging cable, which also gives you the fast charging, of course, and also the customized earbud tips, so you can really pick your size and go along with it. Other than that, there's not really much to talk about when it comes to the packaging itself. So now that we've got everything out of the box, let's talk about the design. So from first impressions, the case and everything just feels very, very light. And that is like a very big selling point that I've seen, that these earbuds are extremely light. The case itself is like pretty standard. It's got this matte finish to it, but I do feel like over time it might have like little scuffs here and there, especially if you have the black one. But right here I have the red, and I actually think the red looks super awesome. When I saw it like teased on athletes and stuff, and before it came out, I actually thought they looked pretty good. Here you have the earbuds themselves. You also have your indicator for battery on the front, which is nice, on the outside. And otherwise there is also a bit of a magnet as well. But as you take these out, there's your right side and your left side indication, and they pop into your ear like so. Overall, I do have to say they fit pretty comfortably, and they actually look good as well. There's no stem at all, and it still has like a great mic pickup pattern, but I do think that in terms of like the actual layout, for the most part, it's going to fit in most ears, because I know the AirPods are not exactly for everyone. These earbuds weigh in at just 5.1 grams each, and for those who don't know, the Apple AirPods 2 come in at a weight of about 4 grams per side, so considering there are like additional features such as active noise cancellation, 1 gram extra is something that you're really not going to notice at all. And being one that is made for athletes, there's like IPX4 ratings, so that is really nice. If you want to take it on your workout or on a raining day, you're going to be fine, because it does have an official certification in terms of water resistance. The very interesting thing about Beats' lineups though is that they also have like the Power Beats, which is the type that has like the hook around your ears. So if you're doing like extreme sports and stuff, then that is a product that really makes sense for you, because AirPods traditionally have not really been known for like exercise or extreme sport, but I have found from my experience, AirPods haven't really been an issue in terms of falling out even when running. So when it comes to design alone, even though it is a bit of an odd shape and it might take some time to figure out which side is which despite it having a label, I think it looks very minimal, and whether you get the white, black, or red one, they all look super sharp. Another feature that I also enjoy is the fact that this B right here is a button. So with the Apple AirPods, it is all touch capacitive, and even though it does work relatively well, I personally do like physical buttons because you can ensure you're not gonna press anything wrong. So by pressing there, you have your start stop commands, your play pause, your skip, and all that kind of stuff. Pretty typical to any pair of earbuds, but I like how it is nicely integrated. When it comes to connecting these to a device though, I also like the fact that it is easy whether you're on iOS or Android. One thing about this is that it does not have a specific Apple chip. It doesn't have the H1 and it doesn't have the W1, and even though Apple owns Beats and a lot of the products in the past have started integrating the chips for seamless connection, this actually doesn't have that, but instead it has a proprietary Beats chip, and it allows it to be dual native with iOS and Android. So whether you have it connected to iCloud through Bluetooth 5.2 or synced through Google devices, you can just go ahead and download the Beats app on your Android phone, and you can connect to this very seamlessly, quality, and that makes it a nice product for anyone who isn't just on the iPhone. And I believe Apple has sold more Apple AirPods than any other singular product they've made, but obviously there's also a huge world of other wireless competing earbuds, and nothing just seems to have been able to come close to the seamless experience and also sound quality to a compact size as Apple has. So with this option right here, it is able to compete with like the Samsung Galaxy Buds, the Huawei Buds, and also even like the Realme Buds, and just a whole range of products that are currently available. Even Anker, Panasonic, and everybody is really getting into the game of wireless earbuds, and everybody's kind of picked their different spot in the industry. Whether it is a budget line of sub $80, some of them in the $100 mark, or others in like the higher end, such as the Sony WH-1000 XM4, which comes in at a price of like the Apple AirPods. This right here is one that really does sit in at a good point in the entire lineup to be very competitive. So before we move on, I want to give a huge thanks to the sponsor of this video, Keeper Security, and their password manager. As you guys might know, I've been someone who uses a password manager for about a year now, and it has really changed the way that we've upped the level of security on company accounts and also personal accounts as well. Whether you're on iOS, Android, Mac, or Windows, it is literally accessible and compatible with every single platform. And not only does it help you generate a secure password and also reminds you to change them or check out any accounts that you could improve your security on, but it also has a great autofill feature that always remembers the password for you while keeping it nice and secure. I really recommend anybody who does not have a secure password manager or two-factor authentication set up to really go ahead and have that properly configured before it is too late, because I can honestly tell you that after some of my accounts got hacked, it was a huge hassle, and just by being able to remember all my passwords, which is something that I seem to like forget all the time after changing them, having Keeper Security is really handy. So if you guys want to go ahead and check it out for yourself, I've got a link on screen and also in the video description as well. So when it comes to the sound quality of the Studio Buds, from the spec side of things, it is an 8.2mm dual element driver. There's also like an acoustic chamber, which is said to help with the sound quality overall, but at the end of the day, I can tell you all the technical stuff, and what really matters is how they sound and how they compare to some of the other options around the same price point or in the market. As you guys might know, Beats was not exactly known for sound quality in the past, but over the past few years, especially after Apple's acquisition, it has definitely made some large strides and has become a better sounding product, and I can definitely notice that. But with these pair of earbuds, I think in terms of sound quality, it still has characteristics that are like very like original Beats type of thing, where the bass is something that is really emphasized. And for a lot of people who listen to like hip hop and rap, you're really going to notice that. Some people really like it, some people don't, and I would find that I'm kind of in the middle of that. I don't feel like I need that much bass, but when it comes to the overall sound quality of these Beats earbuds, they do sound pretty good, and I feel like for the price point, you can consider it worth it. But at the same time, when compared to higher end options, of course, such as the Apple AirPods Pro, they definitely don't sound as sharp. It is noticeable. Generally speaking, for any like casual listener and having all these features at this price point, and especially if you're on Android, I would say they sound better than the Galaxy Buds. So when it comes to sound quality overall, paired with the features, the price point, I do think you're gonna be pretty satisfied with the Beats. And I think in terms of sound, if you're into hip hop and rap especially, then you're definitely gonna notice the advantages of the Studio Buds compared to the AirPods. When it comes to the mic quality, I would say the Studio Buds are relatively average. Really nothing special, and I mean, it gets the job done, and in phone calls, I'm personally not really picky about how the mic sounds itself, but they definitely get the job done. And one characteristic that the AirPods have that probably improves the mic quality is the fact that it has a bit of a stem. So in terms of how it captures audio, it is much more directional, whereas these are buds that fully live inside the ear. So now on to one of the features that I think is a great one to have at this price point and makes it a really good value, just because it is a key feature that compared to Apple AirPods at a very similar price, those don't have. And compared to the Apple AirPods 1, which don't have wireless charging like these, gives a pretty good competitive edge. So when it comes to the noise canceling itself, it has a few different modes. It has a mode where it's just fully off and it extends the battery life. There's also active noise cancellation, and there's also the transparency mode as well, which utilizes the microphone and emphasizes the sound in order to at least let you hear voices and stuff and at least be like aware of your surroundings. When it comes to the active noise cancellation, I feel like this is one of those things where if you see a phone that has like all the great specs, a great design, a great build quality, and it comes in at a price where it is like a little bit lower than the premium one on the market, there's definitely going to be features that they've added that you feel like kind of fall behind in comparison. And I think the active noise cancellation is definitely one of those features in these earbuds. It works, but it's not like that good, and especially if you're comparing it to something like the Apple AirPods, which I understand are $100 more, it is quite noticeable, and the transparency mode is also very muddy. So I would say when it comes to the noise canceling feature on this, if you're like on a bus and plane, it is really better than nothing, and I would still love to have it. But for the price of $150, which I think is very reasonable, they have nailed some of the main features of having a great design, a good sound quality, and the noise cancellation was essentially a bonus feature, especially with the transparency as well. I feel like a good compromise would have been having better active noise cancellation and just the elimination of the transparency mode entirely. So when it comes to the battery life, I feel like most of these wireless earbuds are pretty even in terms of what you're going to get. They promise between 4 to 6 hours, and in this case, the Beats should get you about 5 hours of listening time. To my surprise though, that is actually with the active noise cancellation on, and if you have that off and no transparency mode enabled either, then you can get up to 8 hours of total battery life, which is actually pretty impressive. With the charging case, it is able to give you 15 hours of usage and up to 24 hours if you have the active noise cancellation off. And with just 5 minutes of charging, you get 1 hour of listening. Another thing that you're also going to notice is that it does use a USB Type-C. And you might have seen from other Beats products that came out in the past couple of years with the Apple chip, they have really curated to the Apple side, and as a result, use Lightning. And they even included the cable as well, so it's not a big deal. But especially because this also utilizes USB Type-C, I feel like this is the product that can really go well with anybody who is on iOS and Android. It is essentially non-biased and actually has some nice seamless features to go with it that we also talked about. So at the end of the day, how do these compare to the Apple AirPods Pro for any Apple user watching this video? Maybe you're deciding if the Apple AirPods are worth $250, and I know for a lot of people, if your budget range is $150, then going with the Beats Studio Buds is totally worth it and one that I can definitely recommend. But if you do have a larger budget and you're trying to figure out if there's any value within that $100 price increase, I would say you have to consider a few things. So right off the bat, if active noise cancellation, transparency, and all those features are important to you, then the AirPods are going to be significantly better. If you're someone who spends all your time on phone calls and Zoom calls and you have your AirPods in the entire day and need a good microphone, you're also going to notice that the AirPods Pro have a significantly better microphone pickup, and there is also a gyroscope built in as well. So if you want to use the spatial audio features, you're also going to get a better experience over here. Personally, I don't really do my phone calls on Zoom. I just do it on speakerphone, which is kind of annoying, but I do listen to music and I do use the active noise cancellation on flights all the time. So those are two features that I really do value, but when it comes to spatial audio, it's just one that I don't use that much. The other aspect is sound quality. And this is where I feel like the gap is a little bit smaller between the price point of $100 and the AirPods Pro do overall sound really, really good. And I can notice that the characteristic makes more sense to what music I listen to on the AirPods side. But at the same time, the Beats Studio Buds still sound pretty decent. And if I had known they were only $150 with all the features, I would say it is definitely worth the price in that aspect. So at the end of the day, if you have the money, then obviously the AirPods Pro is going to show its value in price. But I think for any student out there, if you're on a bit of a tighter budget, then the Studio Buds really do check all the boxes. And I think the style of like the Beats branding and the colors and all that kind of stuff really do curate to the typical student. So at the end of the day, what do I think of the Beats Studio Buds? And overall, I think the design looks really good. And I like the fact that they don't like stick out of the ear, because for certain people, you don't really like the look of the AirPods. And I know a lot of people made fun of that, but everybody started to get used to it as they became more popular. But if you still don't like that, then these fit in the ear very nicely. And the white one especially is very discreet, but even the red one right here is one that I think looks really good. The fit is also great, the battery life is nice, the sound quality is pretty decent, but the active noise cancellation is a feature that I felt like I was relatively underwhelmed by. One other feature that is also missing though is wireless charging. And honestly, I can't think of the last time that I've wireless charged my AirPods, because I don't know, it's just like easier to plug it in, it charges super fast, and it isn't like a huge inconvenience. And especially with the iPhone not having reverse wireless charging, if you're on that side of things, it is really not beneficial. But if you're someone who has like an Android device that does have reverse wireless charging, then you might miss that feature because maybe you're out, you forgot to charge your earbuds for a little bit, and you just want to be able to charge it for a few minutes or like 15, 20 minutes and be able to listen to music still, then that is a feature that you might value a lot. But personally, coming from AirPods, I don't really care whether it has wireless charging or not. So the bottom line is that if you're a student out there and you're looking for a great pair of buds, then of all the ones that I've tested, I think at $150, this does really suit a lot of people's needs and the criteria that people are looking for. In a lot of situations, active noise cancellation may not have to be that extreme. Maybe you're on the bus, maybe you just want a bit of quiet. It is able to achieve that, but at the same time, it doesn't really give you like the full isolation feel where you're like really dialed in like the AirPods Pro or like the Sony line really does. Unless you're like if you're going on a plane, obviously I haven't been able to test this on a plane, but if you are like flying where there's like a large humming noise, then these might not be able to do the best job. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.